Welcome back to another one where we've got Mega Master 2022 with an infinity sign. I didn't know you could have that from Earth. Don't get too many E5s. So rating wise, wow, 2285 in Rapid. But their other scores are much lower. Here is this, I believe. 15 games of bullet, fine, can't really read into that. 11 games of blitz, fine. $22.87 rapid, 100 games there in classical. Wow, 1900 games in classical. 22.47. Okay. What's this one? Crazy House. No idea on those rules. Right. Bishop b4. So we take here. That takes there, or you can insert takes on c3 first. That's fine. I'm assuming bishop takes c3, b takes c3. Yeah, I don't know if that's... I'm not quite sure what the line is here. It seems alright for black, doesn't it? But oh, I think you should have taken here first with his check. So now, what, like queen d4? Yeah, it seems much more improved. Takes. Bishop d4. Bishop d4 takes. Maybe then you play no because this pawn hangs. Play knight out. I can pin. Yeah, I like this. So either you're playing bishop f8, or you're playing takes on c3. And if you're going to take on c3, you should have done that move ago when I had to take with the b pawn. These are my thoughts on it. Again, one we can check after. Yeah, so if you're going to do that, you should have played it. You know, I thought I had like bishop g5, and you get the terrible pawn structure. You end up with like double f pawns, double c pawns. At best. g4. e4. e4 castle d5. I should just get this out, right? Yeah, kind of happy with this. I feel like worst case, I think they would take with queen to get those pieces off. Okay, so they basically provoke that. We could play back here. And then on this, not really what I want to go into because of this. Other idea, check. Queen there, takes, king takes. That feels kind of lucrative. What do I pick up? Do I pick up a pawn here as well? Check. Maybe king just moves over. But if you try and block with your queen, I take here, you have to take there, and I can pick up here. Like that. And if your king moves over, takes. I think queen e5 is a very clever move. I'm quite happy with that. So I think probably king f8 might be the best move. It doesn't drop a pawn. Yeah, okay. But now I was thinking takes. If queen takes, I can take there, but then you get counterplay here. Maybe I'd come there. No, I would mate you. Takes, takes, takes. If you take here, I mate you. So takes, probably pawn takes. Like this feels structurally quite good for me. So like here maybe to maintain, no, because I'm walking to this. Maybe this to keep pressure on the pawns. Maybe here for this one. So what, if you were black, what would you be trying to do now? Activate your pieces. Get some control in the centre. I think this is one of the moves you'd be looking to play. So I want to maintain eyes on the c6 pawn and also the f6 pawn. So I think queen c3 is the way to go. So maybe even here could have been. No, it just gives him the option to move his king up. What he wants to do. Because I was like check. Okay, so queen comes up. I can castle long, which might not be a bad idea. I can play g3, bishop g7, bishop e2 rather. I'm worried about this pawn coming. What do I just go long? I'm going to start with this, am I? If I go here, this comes here. Takes. I think I'm okay with that. Got a light squared bishop, so this diagonal's not an issue. Also maybe got the option of putting my bishop on h3, again to try and clamp down on the d7 pawn. Okay. Now castling long appeals to me. I could also play e3, take with the king, and play this endgame, which should be good for me. Or I castle long. Let's castle long and put some pressure on this d7 pawn. I'm not concerned if you take because I can pin you. Here, probably like, yeah, bishop h3. A combination of this, then like maybe this pawn falls, maybe this guy falls. Ultimately, where are you going to put your king where it's safe? So I think I want to keep, well, I feel like all the small advantages are mine here. I'm like, I could keep queens on the board because your king's never going to be safe, but equally I'm thinking I could trade off queens, rooks, bishops, or queens and bishops, and this should be good for me because this pawn structure is naff. So I think trading off bishops is good. Trading off rooks, probably good. Okay. I was going to go e3 here. What does this do? Or this. That's got to be the plan, isn't it? There's no like sack here, is there? No, I kind of like this. Get the bishops off the boards. Play hits the weaknesses. Yeah, because ultimately I think they want to play for d5. I was like, maybe my bishop stands okay on g2 on this diagonal, or even on h3 on this diagonal, but actually d5 with the bishop there controlling the backward c pawn, or maybe slink your queen in behind to guard that c6 pawn, your position's okay. Maybe try and put your king here. I could see myself at some point wanting to play h4 to stop h5, h4 from black. Yeah, I suppose in the immediate threat is to take the bishop, pawn takes back, and we pick up on c7. Does open up the c file where my king is, but it's only queens and rooks. Maybe they play a6. Maybe we play b. Yeah, maybe on a6 we do this. Yeah, like I said, I've got all the small advantages. They've got all the weaknesses that they have to try and defend. Okay, so they give me the pawn. Takes, takes, takes. Which I think I'm going to go for. And I've got pressure on here, which is another pawn I'm pretty guaranteed to win. Or this one, so I'm going to take here. That takes, I take there. Pressure on d7. And on a5. So it's like if I take here, I've got. Well, you can play king e8. Maybe I'll play rook d5. Or rook d4. Yeah, so this should be turning now into our first material advantage of the game. They do undouble their pawns, but that's because they lose one of them. I wonder if they're meant to play a6, I don't know. Spending a long time here, I don't know what else they're considering. What else is there besides this? Well, they're trying to calculate after this to have a move prepared to blitz out. So I would prefer my king to be. Well, I can take this and go into a 2-pawn endgame, and you still got double F pawns. Brilliant. Let's rock and roll with that. Yes, please. Up 2 pawns. You've got double F pawns, isolated. A split H pawn. Your only connected pawns are on the A and B file. No infiltration spots. The only path that's open is the D file, which I will control. No pawn pushes over this side of the board, particularly if I get H4 in. Queens are coming off. I want to have one rook that stands on D4 and another one on D6. Maybe get behind these pawns. Maybe you move my king up to like rooks. I have control of the d file. Okay. So one thought is check. Here, or do I drop this rook back and maybe go after the H pawn? So many options. Oh, I can just go. I can just go here, here and here, or here and here, like this. You push. I'm there. I need to be a bit careful with my. I need to be a bit careful with my c2 pawn. Yeah, push. If I can trade off one pair of rooks and maintain the d file, that should be good enough, right? A pawn on either side of the board. What's the cleanest way of doing this though? There, and pick up the f pawn and the h pawn. And there's no. Check, check, check. Start with this, and if they come forward, I'm thinking about this mating net where I get a rook here and I try and launch the pawn up. Okay, so it goes back. Now here, here feels good. But there'll be some kind of mating potential. So let's go for this. On this, I could even play this. Try and get the a pawn. Maybe I should play king b1, so I'm never pinned. I think I've got to play this and then this. I'm just a bit slow trying to double up. Oh wow! Let me take off a pair of rooks. Okay, I can still play this though, and trade on my terms. If you go here, I'm on the pawn. If you push the pawn, I come here and I can then maybe switch over to the h file. Yeah, I like this. This feels pretty clean. I don't think they've hit the most testing reply. If I can trade off one set of rooks, leave one rook on the d file. I'm going to go up a third pawn. Okay, what if I go here? Okay. Here. So maybe play this. And rook here. What if I play this now? F4. Cuts a lot of the counterplay. Your king's stuck to defend this f pawn. Your rook's got nowhere to go. The only square it's got is this and then this. And then we just work out I imagine we start with a3, c3, and then king up. So there obviously is a weakness there, but not one that you can now target. I'll play this up now. Complete this first. No infiltration spots. Obviously my g3 pawn is weak, but challenging to get a hold of. Okay, is the plan. Yeah, I feel quite fully confident in that. I think just king, land the rook on d5. Feels nice. I thought, yeah, you can maybe wiggle your king in. So maybe my king comes over here to meet you. And that kind of swaps my attention. Maybe I should have played here first. So here feels reasonable. Now king comes here, I'm here, and that's a win. So f5 is the next thing to contemplate, maybe rook here. Yeah, definitely rook there. Yeah, I think this is coming next regardless. Unless you decide to go all the way back and round. I think still rook d5. If you take the pawn, I take the rook. You take the rook, we swap off, and I've got a passed d pawn. Yeah, again, I think that's a smart move. Rook c4 fails, I take with check here, and I pick up this pawn. You do get in. Just need to maintain at least a 2-pawn advantage and crush all your counterplay. So I think rook c4 here. Or rook c4, b3? No, you take the pawn. Rook c4 takes b3. Resigns. Okay, nice. Nice, that was a good game. Good win, 22-85. Very happy with that. That felt smooth, right? So opening this, we know takes bishop out. So we take the knight, and I presume you have to take the knight into mezzo here, yeah. and then takes, and this is still +5. Okay, even I'm left with silly c pawns. Still that. Did I message him at the start of the game? I don't know. For fear of re-messaging him and looking stupid, I will message him again. So he took first, and yeah, now queen d4 is the correct move. Makes sense. Forces the take, and now I don't have the double c pawns. I lose a tempo, but I don't have the double c pawns, so this is now a +1 position. Knight out. Okay, so it likes b3. We've got b3, bishop b2. I don't really know. Bishop g5 felt logical to me. And then on h6. I thought queen e5 was a super smart move, but it's not a top choice at all. We're just trading here. It's only +0.8. Yeah. Queen back to c3 is the best move. Yeah, it likes castles long. Likes castles long. Now this is +3 because I go up a pawn. It's kind of a critical one. I get 2 pawns. This is +4. Trading the rooks. +4. Yeah, I always panic. You can't ever give no counterplay and make progress. It's always impossible. B4 is a nice move, isn't it? It does open up the A file. Yeah, so here I was thinking this. I take with the pawn. I was thinking, yeah, maybe you take with the rook. Then if rook takes, this pawn falls, and the king never makes it over the 5th. Smart. Yeah, fine. Cool. Thanks for watching.